In a forest somewhere in India, there lived a man called Hathaman. He loved Hatha Yoga. Every morning, he would rise with the sun, take an icy dip in the river and do a 12-step ritual called the Surya Namaskar. He would perform it not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 150 times every morning. After that would come the Dhanurasan, the Bhujangasan, the Mayurasan, and the Sarvangasan. Despite these accomplishments, Hathaman nursed a secret desire. More than anything else, he wanted to be superhuman. I have arms like the trunk of a tree. I swim like a fish and I can run faster than the wind. But how fantastic it would be if I could walk on water or fly like a bird. He sighed, looking at an eagle soaring across the sky. One day, as he hung upside down from the branch of a tree, muttering, "If only I had some magical powers," an old yogi stopped in front of him. "I know someone who can give you the powers you are looking for," said the yogi with a twinkle in his eye. Hathaman tumbled off the tree branch like a startled monkey. Where? How? What? Tell me who that is!" he spluttered in excitement. "High up in the mountains of Tibet, there live men and women who have extraordinary powers that you and I can only dream of," said the yogi as he walked away. Hathaman was beside himself with excitement. He set off immediately. It was a long journey from the forests in India to the monastery in Tibet. But Hathaman was a determined man. He walked and walked and kept on walking. Finally, he reached Tibet. Majestic mountains towered over him, ice-capped, craggy, steep. And there he saw, finally, hidden within its folds, the monastery. Hathaman drew in his stomach, threw out his chest, and swaggered across the courtyard of the monastery. "I will introduce myself as a master yogi, and maybe turn a cartwheel or two to show them how good I am," Hathaman said to himself. But at the monastery, no one even seemed to notice him. A little disappointed that no one seemed interested in him, Hathaman decided to walk around and find someone who would give him his magic powers. Exquisite silk thankas hung on the monastery walls. The air was fragrant with incense, and from somewhere came the majestic resonance of cymbals and drums and chanting. But Hathaman saw and heard nothing at all. He was only interested in one thing: superpowers. He came to a door where a monk signaled Hathaman to enter. Striding in, and without as much as a namaste to the old man sitting there, Hathaman asked, "Are you the teacher?" The old monk smiled. Softly, he bid Hathaman to sit down and said,
"I hear you have traveled a great distance to acquire superpowers. I am sure superpowers are very useful. But wouldn't you rather learn meditation and other practices? We can teach you things that could completely transform your life."
Hathaman frowned. "Look here, monk, sir," he said with a little irritation. "I come from a land of great siddhas and enlightened beings. I have not traveled all the way here to learn meditation from you. I know you teach superpowers, so can we please just stick to that?
The monk smiled. "If you are sure that is the only thing you want, well, we can work on that," he said.
"Let's get started then," said Hathaman.
"Not now," said the old monk. "Early tomorrow, before the sun comes up, go to the river that flows near the monastery and take a bath. Then come to me."
The next morning, even before the sun rose, Hathaman flexed his arms and started doing push-ups by the river. In the freezing waters of the Brahmaputra river, he had a bath. Almost blue in the body and face, he ran to the old monk's room. He was terribly excited. How impressed the yogis in India will be when they see me flying back home, he chuckled as he ran. Come on, hurry up! I have been here for ages. I am ready for my magic powers," said Hathaman impatiently as he saw the old monk sitting with eyes closed in silence. The monk opened his eyes and smiled.
"Bring your ear close to my mouth," he said softly. "I will whisper the secret mantra. Sit by the river and chant it 3 times. All the powers of the world will be yours."
Hathaman was incredulous. "That's it?" he asked.
"That's it,"
smiled the old monk. He leaned over and in a soft voice whispered into Hathaman's right ear,
"Buddham sharanam gacchami. Dhammam sharanam gacchami. Sangham sharanam gacchami."
"That's it?" Hathaman asked again, unable to believe this.
"That's it,"
said the monk. Hathaman learned the mantra quickly and without so much as a thank you turned to go.
"1 minute," called out the monk. "There is just one condition to the mantra."
"Condition? What condition?" asked Hathaman, filled with apprehension and mistrust.
"While you chant the mantra," instructed the monk, "you must not think of monkeys. Even one single monkey thought renders the mantra ineffective."
"Monkeys? What monkeys?" asked Hathaman. "Why would I think of monkeys? I don't even like monkeys."
"That may well be. But if you think of monkeys, even a single one, you will have to bathe again in the river and rechant the mantra,"
explained the old monk. Slightly perplexed, Hathaman turned towards the river. He shook his head and wondered how a monk who dealt in superpowers could be so silly.
"Remember, no monkeys,"
called out the old monk once again.
All my life I wished and prayed to soar and fly unafraid. All my life I wished and prayed to soar and fly unafraid. To touch the sun and raise the light. To touch the sun and raise the light. To move the mountains with my mind. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami. Sangam Sharanam Gacchami. I will swell, I will rise. I will rise, Hathaman, 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 Jai Hathaman. I will swell, I will rise. I will glide across the skies. I will dive, I will wave. I will walk on waters high. Across the worlds and galaxies, I will be the greatest of the sea.
At the river, Hathaman took a spectacular dive into the waters. Then, shaking the water out of his hair, he found a comfortable spot under a tree. He closed his eyes and began chanting the mantra. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami. Sangam Sharanam Gacchami. As he chanted, he considered his good luck. He couldn't believe obtaining special powers could be so simple. I hope they are not making a monkey of me, he thought. And immediately, the image of a single monkey popped into Hathaman's mind. Oh dear, he thought. This won't do. The old monk had strictly warned him about monkey thoughts. So Hathaman dove into the freezing river one more time. Stiff and cold, he sat again to chant the sacred mantra. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, he chanted. Now, 3 monkeys popped into his head. And one of them was holding a banana. Into and out of the freezing Brahmaputra waters Hathaman went again. Buddham, he started again. There were 15 monkeys now. It was a whole colony. Hathaman shook his head violently to dispel the images, but the damage was done. In and out went Hathaman, from the sandy banks into the icy waters, then back again and again and again. With him came the monkeys, every kind, every shape, families of monkeys, big ones, little ones, all sizes. Some were sitting on his head and removing lice. Some were on his shoulder. Some babies were lying across his lap. Get off! Get off! Shoo! Shoo! Hoo! Yelled Hathaman as he desperately tried to shake off the monkeys. But they wouldn't leave. They swarmed around, clambered all over him, scratched and pummeled him, tweaked his nose, boxed his ears and pulled his hair. The more he tried to push them away, the closer they clung to him. Stop! Stop! Oh, please help me! Help me! Screamed Hathaman and ran like a madman to the old monk's room. Make them go away! Oh, please take away the monkeys! He sobbed. What about your superpowers? Asked the old monk, smiling. Superpowers? Who wants superpowers? I only want the monkeys to go away! he wept.
There are no monkeys, my friend. They are only in your mind. The day you can chant the mantra I gave you without thinking of monkeys, the world will be yours, said the monk.
But do you think Hathaman wanted superpowers now? Huh? All he wanted to do was leave the monastery and the monkeys that were driving him mad. He hastily took leave of the monk and scrambled down the mountainside and didn't stop running till he reached the comforting forests that were his home. There, he returned to his old life of Surya Namaskar, Mayurasan, Bhujangasan, and Dhanurasan. But even now, every once in a while, when Hathaman closes his eyes and tries to utter the mantra, the monkeys visit him.
All my life I wished and prayed to soar and fly unafraid. All my life I wished and prayed to soar and fly unafraid. To touch the sun and raise the light. To touch the sun and raise the light. To move the mountains with my mind.
Buddham sharanam gacchami, Dhammam sharanam gacchami, Sangham sharanam gacchami.
I will swell, I will rise.
I will rise, Hathaman, 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 Jai Hathaman.
I will swell, I will rise. I will glide across the skies. I will dive, I will wave. I will walk on waters high. Across the worlds and galaxies, I will be the greatest of the sea.
Surrounded by the Himalayas on one side and a vast forest on the other, was a small Buddhist monastery in Tibet. Monks of all ages lived a simple life there. Everything about the place spoke of quiet beauty. The early morning mist, the warmth of the setting sun, the lovely conifers, and the beautiful wildlife. The monks had an unusual companion, a Royal Bengal tiger called Dorje. What was even more unusual was that Dorje had no stripes on his body, just two dark spots above his eyes that appeared like brushstrokes against his orange skin. When he had first appeared in the monastery a couple of years ago, there were several stripes. But in the 2 years that had followed his arrival, they had all disappeared, one by one. All that was left now were the 2 dark spots on his forehead. One evening, all the monks had gathered inside the monastery for prayer. Chiku, the youngest monk, opened his eyes and looked around for Master Wu. He was nowhere to be seen. The monks completed their evening prayer, and as they continued to sit cross-legged on their mats, Chiku suddenly felt as though he was being watched. The hair on the back of his neck stood up, and he could feel goosebumps on his skin. Then something moist tickled his ear. Startled, he turned around. There, in front of him, was Dorje, Master Wu's tiger. "Dorje, you scared me. Bad tiger," scolded Chiku with an affectionate laugh. Looking up, he saw Master Wu standing behind the tiger. "Master Wu, where were you?" Sapang, another young monk, asked. "We missed you at prayer today." But before Master Wu could reply, Chiku started jumping up and down, madly gesticulating and pointing towards Dorje. "Look! Look at Dorje! There is a long black stripe on his back." Everyone surrounded Dorje, whose golden coat of fur gleamed under the rays of the setting sun. He was sitting leisurely, licking his saucer-sized paws with his tongue. He thrashed his long tail about once or twice, and then tilted his large head. With deep, inset eyes, he looked towards Master Wu and the statue of the Buddha behind him. And there, across his back, was a long, thick black stripe. Everyone stood there, staring at Dorje and the new stripe on his back. Murmurs grew and became louder. Dorje got up gracefully, walked towards Master Wu, and sat at his feet. Master Wu smiled and stroked Dorje's head. "Do you remember that when I first brought Dorje here, he was covered in bruises?" Master Wu asked. The children nodded, sensing the beginning of a story, and quickly sat around him. Master Wu continued. His skin was heavily scratched and covered with layers of mud. He was weak and tired, and had surely not eaten anything for days. He collapsed on the steps of this monastery. Master Wu paused and looked around as everyone nodded. He closed his eyes and continued. It was all so strange that Dorje had very few stripes on his body. In fact, it was difficult to make out that he was a tiger. We fed Dorje the first few days, and then, as he regained his strength, he was able to hunt on his own. Yet Dorje feared us. But he's a tiger. How can he be afraid of us? A puzzled Chiku asked. Master Wu looked sad as he responded. Because man is the most dangerous animal on this planet. His very presence strikes fear in the hearts of the mightiest and bravest of animals. Only men can hunt down the greatest of all predators. Dorje only knew cruel men before he met us, and he feared us even more. He had never seen compassionate children like you. Over the last few months, Dorje started accepting us as his friends. He played with you children and occasionally slept on the steps of the monastery, surrounded by all of us. But as you know, Dorje was still very sad and listless. Every now and then he would feel angry and storm off into the jungle and roar till his throat went hoarse. All the other tigers in the forest ran away from him, and each time he came back, he would be missing a stripe. He would then be depressed and mope around for days on end. This kept happening till only the 2 spots on his forehead were left. With a sigh, Master Wu went on. I could not bear to see this beautiful creature in so much agony and pain. So one day, while he was tossing and turning in his sleep, I entered his dreams. The monks gasped. Dream-walking was sacred, done only in the direst and rarest of circumstances. Chiku looked intently at Master Wu and asked in a whisper, "What did you see in Dorje's dream, Master Wu?" A hush descended, and Master Wu drifted into memory. At first, I saw Dorje's home in Bengal. Dense jungles full of fiery, beautiful tigers. He murmured softly, his eyes closed. They were so bold and regal, and they feared nothing and no one. It was the most majestic sight I have ever seen.
Tigers, tigers, a regal pride, fierce and fast, brilliant, bright, orange, yellow, amber cheek, jet black streaks, majestic, majestic. Streaks of night paint our dawn. You'll be sad when we are gone. Streaks of night paint our dawn. You will be sad when we are gone. This earth is ours as much as yours. Our homes are forests spread across. Don't hunt us down for skin and bone. Don't capture us and make us alone. Don't empty us so that you fill your wardrobe's homes and hunting thrills. Let us run wild and free. We're not your pet to catch and keep. Tigers, tigers, a real pride. Fierce and fast, brilliant, bright.
There was joy in Master Wu's voice as he recreated a time when tigers roamed the jungles of Asia. Then a note of sadness entered him. One by one, the tigers started disappearing as men encroached upon their jungles, started killing them for their skin and for sport, hunted down even their prey, so they were left to starve. Their numbers started to dwindle. Eventually, a time came when there were only a handful of tigers left in the mangroves of Bengal. Among them were Dorje and his clan. In those days, Dorje had several stripes on his skin, like every other Bengal tiger. But every time a tiger died, Dorje lost a stripe. It was as if the universe was keeping track of the number of tigers alive through him. As more tigers got poached or died of starvation, more stripes disappeared from Dorje's skin, till one day there were only a handful of stripes left. The poachers knew that there were only a few tigers left, so they set their traps all over the jungle, formed a circle, and waited with loaded guns. The only way to survive was to leave the forest. Dorje tried to lead his brothers out of the jungle with him, but they refused to leave. They fought the poachers, and Dorje quickly escaped while his brothers held them off. Dorje ran as fast as he could. Even when he heard gunshots being fired, he didn't stop. Even when he saw the two stripes on his forelegs fading away, he kept on running. He ran all day and all night, neither stopping for food nor water. He ran all the way from Bengal to Tibet, till he reached the wall of our monastery, and then collapsed. That is how I found him. The silence in the monastery was broken by the sound of children crying. The older monks consoled them gently, while wiping the tears out of their own eyes. Master Wu picked Chiku up and sat him on his lap. "But today something wonderful has happened," he said. "Something that gives me a lot of hope. Can you guess what, Chiku?" In between his sobs, Chiku tried to answer Master Wu. "Dorje got a new stripe on his back." "Yes, and do you know what that means?" The older monks quietly murmured among themselves. Chiku stood up and wiped his tears, a sudden realization dawning on him. The other children were also charged up now. "Another tiger?" Chiku guessed. Master Wu looked around, and a broad grin spread across his face, his eyes crinkling at the edges. "That's right. Today, when Dorje and I were walking in the forest, I saw that a new stripe was beginning to form on Dorje's back. As we moved further into the forest, the stripe became longer and thicker, and then we heard a loud roar and found another tiger, a tigress, in fact, a Royal Bengal tigress. They roared at each other, but unlike the other tigers in the forest, this one didn't run away from Dorje. She circled Dorje a few times and even nudged him with her paws. They seem to have become friends. Dorje finally has someone to call family, and the proof is the stripe on his back. "Will Dorje have children soon?" Sapang blurted out, and then blushed with embarrassment. "He may," Master Wu chuckled. "In a few years, he might get all his stripes back." Everyone laughed. The children wanted to go with Dorje to see his new friend, but Master Wu stopped them. "Dorje has been our friend and companion for a long time, but it is time for him to go. The jungle is rightfully his. We have our villages and cities. It's time to let our friend go home." Saying this, Master Wu led them all back to the prayer hall. The monks followed, with a spring in their steps. They all chanted a prayer for Dorje and his new family. And in the jungle, 2 Bengal tigers stepped into the wilderness and shyly purred at each other. There was hope for their clan once again.
Tigers, tigers, a regal pride, fierce and fast, brilliant, bright, orange, yellow, amber cheek, jet black streaks, majestic, majestic. Streaks of light paint our dawn. You'll be sad when we are gone. Streaks of light paint our dawn. You will be sad when we are gone. This earth is ours as much as yours. Our homes are forests spread across. Don't hunt us down for skin and bone. Don't capture us and make us alone. Don't empty us so that you fill your wardrobes, homes, and hunting thrills. Let us run wild and free. We're not your pet to catch and keep. Tigers, tigers, a real pride. Fierce and fast, brilliant, bright.